The list of reasons that could land you in trouble on your next cruise appears to be ever growing. Today, we talk about a cruiser who ended up escorted by the police due to a little known rule in the country they visited. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Welcome back to the Florida Midships studio. Let's get things started off with a question of the day. In the comment section down below, let me know your favorite breakfast food on a cruise. Are we talking bacon? Are we talking croissants? Yeah. I was just in Europe. It's croissant, right? Now, we've got a cautionary tale to get into today in the cruise news, and this is maybe a little known or an underappreciated fact. And that fact is that not everywhere you visit on your cruise will be accepting of certain items of clothing or even certain patterns on your clothing. Case in point, we need to talk about camouflage clothing, something very popular here in the United States that could land you in a world of hurt somewhere else. The problem comes when you cruise to certain countries like the Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, Dominica, Jamaica, St. Lucia. These are all countries where camo or camouflage style clothing and accessories are illegal. Yeah, that's right. They're not permitted. And this is a fact that one cruise passenger sailing earlier this month on the Carnival Venezia, or the Carnival Parmesan, if you will. Well, this passenger learned the hard way about the camo problem in certain countries that you visit when he was marched back to the ship like a criminal by the police department in Barbados. And that's because the guy was wearing camo shorts and he had a camo backpack. Now, this passenger maintains that it's Carnival's fault that he was met by police because the cruise line didn't make him aware of the local ordinances, saying, "Nobody told me at all that I couldn't wear camo, and they didn't give me any compensation for this problem." He went on to say, "It's not like I'm a rebel or a Terry." We'll just use the word Terry because, well, I like to get paid by YouTube and you can't use the full word. I'm sure you can figure out what Terry means, though. Now, here in the US, we enjoy freedoms, including the freedom of expressing yourself by wearing whatever items of clothing you may deem stylish, fashionable, or otherwise good, no matter how good or bad you actually look in them. But you need to remember, when you travel outside of your home country, well, you're a guest in that country. And that includes the fact that there's probably some different rules, regulations, and local customs in place that may be a lot less free than what you enjoy here in the United States or maybe over in the UK, a country like that. And when you step outside of one of these free countries without a care or a thought to the local rules and regulations of the place you're going, you open yourself up to a big amount of problems, just like this cruise passenger from the Carnival Venezia found out. So let's dissect this a little bit. This passenger claims that no one made them aware that camouflage clothing or accessories are unacceptable in certain countries that Carnival's cruise ships visit. And this may be perfectly true and valid. However, somehow I was able to find out all on my own that I should leave my camo behind for my very first Carnival cruise, which was years ago at this point. That information, it was already publicly available in the mid-2010s. And the other thing is, you as a passenger, well, you can't rely on the cruise line to know everything about everywhere they visit. Case in point, this year down in Mexico, a new law was passed that outlawed vaping and smoking in public places. And that law was passed while I was actually on a week-long Mexico intensive cruise. And nowhere on that cruise did I see any signs or notices or indications from Carnival warning me of this new law, because obviously it's a new law. They can't be expected to know everything at all times. So the moral of the story here is you gotta do some of your own homework. You gotta read up anytime you're going to a foreign country. There's going to be places that cruise ships visit that are bass accords. Moral of the story. But if you're gonna get off the ship, you better darn well respect bass accords for the day, is all I'm gonna say about that one. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself on the wrong side of potentially a very big problem. Now, let's address the second point this cruise passenger made, that Carnival didn't give him any compensation because of his camouflage problem that he had in port in Barbados. To that, I'll ask you, did Carnival make you aware that it's illegal to sing in a swimsuit in the state of Florida? Because technically it is, and yet every single sail away party from a Florida port most likely includes hundreds of Carnival passengers singing in their swimsuit.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail.
There's laws that most of us would consider a joke. For instance, if you steal a horse here in the state of Florida, well, you're supposed to be hanged. When's the last time you think that that law was actually enforced? And similarly, these laws of camo or camouflage clothing, well, they're not always being enforced either. So tell me what you think about all of this. Am I in the right here with my assessment of it's down to the individual person to be responsible for themselves, or am I being a little too hard on this guy at the end of the day? The only thing that happened is he got a little bit embarrassed on his walk home to the cruise ship, escorted by the Barbados police officers that told him, hey, no camouflage here, pal. No, no, no. Thank you so much for supporting me. While you're doing it, feel free to hit the subscribe button. It's right down here, and it's even free. And slam that thumbs up button to tell Carnival that maybe they should tell cruisers absolutely everything about everywhere they go. I joke, of course. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And until next time, we'll see ya camo free on the Midships. I like camo. Come on.